Hey Reddit. I've been debating with myself for the past few weeks about whether to even write this out, but honestly I can't stop thinking about it, and maybe typing it out for strangers on the internet will help me sort through it. If nothing else, I figure it'll feel less like I'm drowning in this secret if other people at least know it exists. So here goes. Title says it all: my dad, who raised me for 25 years, isn't actually my biological father. I didn't find this out until recently. And my whole sense of self has been spinning ever since. A little backstory first because I think the context matters. I grew up in what I thought was a pretty normal suburban family. You know the type: cul-de-sac street, bikes left on the lawn, neighbors you wave at but don't really know, weekend barbecues with the same 3 families over and over. My dad was always the guy. The one who fixed everything, the one who yelled at the TV during football, the one who let me stay up way too late watching bad sci-fi movies when my mom wasn't home. He's the reason I have this dumb, encyclopedic knowledge of 80s action films. Ask me to quote Predator line for line and I probably could. I never doubted for a second that he was my dad. We don't look that different, not in a way I ever thought twice about. He's got darker hair and I'm lighter, but I figured genetics are weird and it happens. People always said I had his expressions, his way of raising an eyebrow when something was off, his sarcastic humor. If you lined us up with other random people, I swear you'd pick us as father and son. Anyway, the discovery wasn't some big family meeting or confession. It happened in the most ridiculous, 21st century way: a damn DNA test kit. You know the kind, the ones people buy on Black Friday sales because they're curious about whether they're 12% Irish or whatever. My girlfriend thought it would be fun to do them together. She's super into genealogy and family trees, so she bought us both kits last Christmas. I spit in the tube, sent it off, forgot about it. Weeks later I get the email that my results are ready. I log in expecting something boring like, "Congratulations, you're 98% European mutt." Except that's not what I saw. There were some relatives listed, but no close family matches that made sense. No dad. No connection to his side of the family at all. At first, I thought I messed it up somehow. Like maybe I didn't swab correctly or the lab screwed up. But then I called my girlfriend over, and she started explaining it in detail. According to this thing, the man I've called dad my whole life couldn't possibly be biologically related to me. The words, non-paternity event, were in there. That's literally what they call it when someone's dad isn't actually their dad. I laughed. I literally laughed. Because it felt absurd. Like, yeah right, these tests are silly anyway. But then I sat with it longer and the pit in my stomach started growing. And when I saw there were some half-sibling matches, people I didn't know at all, I felt my hands go numb. So here I am, 25 years old, realizing in the span of a few minutes that my life is not what I thought it was. I couldn't let it go. I started pulling out old family photos, staring at them way too long, wondering if the resemblance was ever really there or if I just imagined it because I wanted to believe. After 2 sleepless nights, I decided to bring it up with my mom. Not in a big, dramatic way, I just sat at her kitchen table while she was making tea and blurted out, "Mom, is Dad my biological father?" She froze. Not like a little hesitation. I mean completely still, tea bag halfway dipped, staring at me with this expression I'll never forget. And in that moment, before she even opened her mouth, I knew the answer. She sat down and started crying. And I sat there, not even sure if I was angry or just hollow. Finally she said, "I always meant to tell you, but your father, he wanted to raise you as his own. He is your father. He always has been." She confirmed it. My dad knew from day one. He knew I wasn't biologically his. And yet he never let on. He tucked me in every night, he taught me how to ride a bike, he showed up to every little league game. He carried that secret for 25 years. Here's the thing though, I don't know how to feel. Half of me is furious. How could they hide something this big from me? I feel like I've been living in some Truman Show version of my own life. But the other half of me, well, he is my dad. In every way that matters. He never treated me differently. If anything, he probably went harder at being a good father because of it. But then there's the nagging thought, who is my biological father? Do I want to know? Do I have other siblings out there? Am I half related to some stranger walking around the same town I grew up in? And why the hell didn't anyone give me the choice to know this about myself? I haven't confronted my dad yet. Every time I think about it, my chest gets tight. Because how do you even start that conversation? Hey, thanks for teaching me to drive and fixing my flat tires all these years, but also, why didn't you ever tell me I'm not your son? He probably thinks it doesn't matter. That blood doesn't make a family, actions do. And on some level, he's right. But on another level, it feels like a lie I've been living inside. And it makes me question what else I don't know. I don't know what my next step is. Do I bring it up with my dad and risk shattering the relationship we've had? Do I let it go and carry this weight quietly? Do I dig into finding my bio father, even if it means opening a can of worms my mom clearly doesn't want opened? I can't stop replaying moments in my head. Him cheering at my graduation. Him choking up when I moved out. Him hugging me after my first real breakup and saying, "You'll be okay, son." Did he mean it differently because I wasn't really his? Or did he mean it even more? Sorry, this is getting long. If you've read this far, thanks. I just needed to put this somewhere. Maybe I'll update if anything changes. Right now, I feel like my whole life has two versions, the one I thought I had, and the one I actually did. And I don't know which one to believe in. TLDR, found out through a DNA kit that my dad isn't my biological father. Mom confirmed it. Dad has known the whole time but never said a word. I don't know how to feel or what to do next. Back with an update. I honestly didn't think I'd be posting again so soon, but the last week has been a blur of emotions and conversations I never thought I'd have. If part 1 felt heavy, buckle in, because part 2 is where the fallout really hits. So after I wrote the first post, I spent a couple of days avoiding my parents' calls. My mom texted me a few times, things like, "I love you, please don't shut us out," but I didn't know how to respond. Every time my phone buzzed, my stomach dropped. I was terrified of confronting my dad, but also more terrified of not confronting him. I couldn't sit on this forever. Finally, I drove over to my parents' house on Saturday. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, staring at the front door like it was the gateway to another dimension. Eventually, I forced myself to knock. My dad opened it, same as always, smiling like he was genuinely happy to see me. That smile hurt more than anything. We sat in the living room. He asked if I wanted coffee, I said no, and then there was just silence. I finally blurted out, "Dad, I know." He tilted his head. "Know what?" "About me. About not being yours." The way his face changed. I can't even describe it. It wasn't shock, more like resignation. Like he'd been rehearsing for this moment his whole life. He took a deep breath, sat back in his chair, and said, "I figured the tests would catch up with us eventually." And just like that, the truth was out. No denial, no pretending. He admitted it. My chest felt like it was going to cave in. We talked for hours. Or maybe he talked, and I just sat there trying to absorb it all. He told me that he knew from before I was born. My mom had been honest with him early in their relationship, she was pregnant, and it wasn't his. He said he had two options, walk away, or choose to be my father. And he chose me. He said he never once regretted that choice. I asked him why he never told me. He rubbed his hands together and said, "Because you were my son. In every way that mattered. I didn't want you to feel different. I didn't want you to feel like less." I wanted to scream. Because on one hand, that's beautiful. Selfless. On the other hand, it feels like a theft of truth. Like he decided on my behalf that I didn't deserve to know where I came from. We went back and forth. I asked if my grandparents knew. He said yes, they did. That stung too. So basically everyone important in my life knew this massive detail about me, and I was the last to find out. I asked him if he ever resented me. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Not for 1 second." And damn it, I believed him. My dad has his flaws, he can be stubborn, he works too much, he's not great at talking about emotions, but he's never lied in a way that felt cruel. Until now. And yet, the sincerity in his voice shook me. Because I realized, he really did love me like his own. Still, I couldn't stop myself from asking the million-dollar question, who is my biological father? My dad went quiet. He looked toward the kitchen, like maybe hoping my mom would swoop in and answer for him. Finally he sighed and said, "That's not my story to tell." That answer pissed me off. I know he was trying to be respectful, but it just felt like another layer of secrecy. Another wall I couldn't climb. I left after that, slamming the door harder than I meant to. He didn't try to stop me. Later that night, my mom called. I didn't pick up at first, but she kept trying, and eventually I gave in. She was crying before she even said hello. She told me the man who fathered me was someone she knew in college. Not a relationship, more like a fling. She said he wasn't a good guy, that he had no interest in being involved, and she never even told him about me. By the time she met my dad, she was a few months pregnant. My dad knew, and he chose to step up. I should feel grateful, right? That my dad loved me enough to raise me like his own, when the bio guy couldn't be bothered? But instead, I feel torn. I feel like there's a missing piece of me out there. Even if he was a garbage human being, he's still half of my DNA. And apparently, I might have half-siblings. My mom admitted she heard through the grapevine that he has a couple kids now. Which means I might have biological brothers or sisters walking around, not knowing I exist. That thought kept me up all night. Because suddenly I wanted to know everything. Names, faces, details. My mom refused to give me his name. She said it would only bring pain. But the thing is, the DNA site already gave me clues. Those half-sibling matches? Yeah, they're still sitting there in my account. I haven't messaged them yet, but I've clicked on their profiles about 1,000 times. One lives 2 states away. One lives literally an hour from me. Every time I see their faces, I wonder if they'd see mine and think, oh, yeah, that's family. Meanwhile, things with my dad are complicated. He keeps texting me, saying he loves me, asking if I want to grab lunch like we used to. And I want to. I miss him. But I'm also furious. It feels like hugging him means forgiving the lie, and I'm not ready for that yet. The weirdest part is catching myself remembering little moments differently. Like when I was a kid and people used to say, "You look just like your dad," and he'd smile this quiet smile. I used to think it was pride. Now I wonder if it was bittersweet. Did he know he was living a performance? Did he ever worry I'd find out? I don't know how to move forward. Do I reach out to these half-siblings? Do I demand my mom tell me his name? Do I try to patch things with my dad? Every path feels like it's going to blow up my life even more. For now, I'm stuck in limbo. I can't stop refreshing the DNA site, but I also can't bring myself to hit message. And every time my phone buzzes, I'm half hoping it's my dad, half dreading it. TLDR, confronted my dad. He admitted he knew all along I wasn't biologically his. Mom revealed my bio father was a fling from college who never knew about me. I might have half-siblings, but I don't know if I should reach out. My relationship with my dad is strained, and I'm lost between anger and gratitude. Hey Reddit. I didn't think I'd be back with part 3 this quickly, but I guess once you start peeling layers off a secret like this, everything unravels faster than you can control. This is the resolution, or at least the closest thing to resolution I can manage for now. After I left you all hanging last time, I couldn't stop thinking about those half-sibling profiles on the DNA site. Every night, I'd open the app, stare at their photos, and close it again. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, toes dangling, knowing the leap could either break me or finally give me solid ground. Eventually, I caved. I messaged the one who lived an hour away. I kept it simple. Hey, I think we might be related. I just found out some big stuff about my family. Would you be open to talking? I hit send, closed my laptop, and immediately regretted it. But the next morning, there was a reply. Wow. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm open to chatting. Do you want to meet up? Just like that, my life tilted on its axis again. We decided to meet at a coffee shop halfway between us. I was shaking when I walked in. She, let's call her Elle, was already there. And holy hell, the resemblance hit me like a truck. Same nose, same jawline, even the same nervous way of fiddling with her sleeve. She stood up, we hugged awkwardly, and then we just stared at each other like, yep, this is real. We talked for hours. About everything and nothing. She told me she grew up with a dad who was distant, to put it kindly. She said she always wondered if he had secrets. Turns out, she was right. When I told her my story, she was shocked but not entirely surprised. She said, that explains why I never felt like I had the whole picture. I left that coffee shop feeling both lighter and heavier. Elle and I promised to stay in touch, and we have. Texting, sending memes, trying to bridge a lifetime gap in a few weeks. It's surreal, but also comforting. Like finding a missing puzzle piece and realizing it does fit. Meanwhile, my relationship with my dad, the one who raised me, has been the biggest emotional tug-of-war of my life. After meeting Elle, I couldn't keep avoiding him. I finally texted back, lunch sounds good. We met at our usual diner, the kind of place that hasn't updated its decor since the 70s but serves the best pancakes in town. He looked older than I remembered. Or maybe I was just seeing him differently now. We ordered food, but neither of us touched it. Finally, I said, I met one of them. His fork froze mid-air. One of who? My half-siblings. From him. He sighed, set the fork down, and rubbed his face. I was afraid of this. I told him everything, about the DNA site, about meeting Elle, about how I couldn't ignore this part of myself anymore. He listened quietly, then said, I can't tell you what to do. But just remember, biology doesn't erase what we've had. You're my son. You've always been my son. And here's the kicker, for the first time in weeks, I believed it without resentment. Because sitting there, I realized something huge. Yes, biology matters. It matters to me. But the man across from me was the one who taught me to ride a bike, who drove me to soccer practice, who cried when I left for college. That doesn't disappear because of a DNA report. After lunch, we hugged in the parking lot. Not the awkward side-pat hug guys sometimes do. A real hug. I told him, I'm angry you didn't tell me. But I also love you. Both can be true. He got choked up and said, that's enough for me. It didn't fix everything, but it felt like the first real step forward. As for my mom, we're still working through it. I've been more distant with her, and she knows it. She keeps saying she wanted to protect me, but I told her protection without truth feels like betrayal. We're going to therapy together next week, which feels terrifying but necessary. So where does that leave me? Somewhere between broken and whole. I've got new family members I'm just starting to know. I've got an old family I'm relearning how to trust. And I've got this gnawing sense that my identity isn't just one thing or the other, it's both. I'm the son of a man who chose me, and the blood of someone who didn't. And maybe that's okay. If you take anything from this saga, let it be this: secrets have a way of surfacing, no matter how deep you bury them. And when they do, they hurt, but sometimes, in the rubble, you find connections you never knew you needed. Thanks for sticking with me through this mess. It's been the hardest month of my life, but also the most eye-opening. I don't know exactly what the future looks like, but for the first time since I opened that DNA email, I feel like I can breathe again. TLDR, met one of my half-siblings. She and I are building a relationship. finally sat down with my dad, told him the truth, and we're starting to mend things. My mom and I are headed to therapy. My life isn't the same as I thought it was, but maybe it's okay to hold both truths at once.